Hi everybody, my name is Jessica and this is my channel Plant Hooker, and today I'm going to be talking about my watermelon peperomia, or my Peperomia Argyreia. I think that's the proper way to pronounce it. Gorgeous little plant, only gets about a foot tall and about a foot to 2 feet wide. Slow growing, like I've had this guy for about a year and a half and he's only gotten this big, because originally he was about here and I've only maybe got, this is one of the original leaves. It's pretty much on its way out. I think they're almost all new except for this guy. These guys are native to South America, the northern part of South America, like Bolivia, Peru, Uruguay, and along the Amazon, places like that. And they're not related to like begonias or watermelon plants. They're actually a peperomia, like they're part of the tongue twister, sorry, family. They do flower. They'll make like the little rat tail like flowers. I've only had this guy able to flower once for me, and I haven't yet been able to get him to flower again. Mostly because he had, well, when I first got him, I had to battle spider mites, and I kicked their butt. It was no problem. I'll take spider bites any day over thrisp. I purchased him from, again, the company that I suggest not to buy from, even though their site is still active and they still take money and they won't get a plant, and that's the Plant Collective. There are better places to buy from, like Plant Haven, Toronto, Crystal Star Nurseries. There's lots that are better. But it is called a watermelon peperomia because of the shape of the leaves and the coloring. These silver bands, I find in higher light, they will get like more darker and silverier, but because we're in wintertime and there's not as much light, they tend to go a little more greener. See? And they're not as silvery looking. This guy I water about every 2 weeks. They're not high demand on water. They do like to dry out between waterings. To give you a better idea, once he hits a level 2 on a moisture meter, that's when you know it's time to water him. Now, they say to only fertilize this plant every 2 months. And you can use the all-purpose fertilizer or the one that's specifically made for green plant food or green plants. I myself, however, find, like, you notice how some of these leaves are a little like crusty in the ends and like they're not perfectly shaped, like they have. Now there are some speculations to being sensitive to lime or being like nutrient deficient. I've tried both ways. Mine specifically seems to be nutrient deficient. So I'll fertilize him with every second watering. But I half it, like instead of having like what it says on the bottle, I'll do half of that every second watering with this guy. And I find since I've been doing that, the new leaves, like look how perfect and gorgeous that new leaf is. The newer leaves have been coming out perfect and gorgeous. Normal humidity is fine with these guys, but because I have a wood stove, I do have to mist him because my house gets really dry. So I'll mist him about twice a week. And I find because I do that, I don't really have to clean him at all. I do clean him maybe once every couple months, and that's mostly because when I use my insecticide on it, just to keep it because the neem oil will build up, and I don't like what it does to the leaves. Like, it'll give that strange sheen to it, where it like oily and like hair will get stuck on it. So, and that's why I clean mine. Part sun, part shade. I find mine does fantastic in a west-facing window. I have tried putting him in a south-facing window. He didn't seem to like it too much unless I had taken him like to the other side of the room. But in a west-facing window, he's perfectly happy. 18 to 25 degrees Celsius is their perfect temperature and their most preferred temperature. So again, because I have a wood stove, it gets warmer than that. That's why I missed him, to make him happy. He seems to like it. And these guys can only survive year-round outside if you're in a zone 10A or above. Below that, you'd have to bring him in. Because here where I'm at in Canada, on Cape Breton, I'm a caper, he's only happy outside between July and August. I have never put him outside yet. I'm hoping to maybe try that sometime this summer, and weather depending, of course. All-purpose potting soil is perfect for these guys, and some people will plant them in sphagnum moss, which I'm not a fan of, mostly because sphagnum moss is not renewable. Like, they take these from these sphagnum moss swamps, and they completely decimate the environment of the area. So if you would prefer like a sustainable dirt for these guys, you can use coco coir. I believe he is currently in coco coir right now, and he seems to do fine with it. I do find that I have to water him a little more. Excuse me. I'm kind of losing my voice here. They are sensitive to overwatering. You can overwater these guys. And one way to tell that you have overwatered them is that they'll get black spots on them, and then they'll start getting like a white mold. So let them dry out. Treat them almost like an Argyreia, but not quite. Almost. When it comes to pests, the only ones I've dealt with was spider mites, and like I was able to get rid of them right away. No trouble with them. They do have trouble with mealybugs and fungus gnats, but I haven't had any trouble with those. So I guess that's it. Pretty plant. You can find them almost anywheres. If you have any questions, give me a shout, and like and subscribe, I guess. So live long, plant on.